Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about DUNE by Frank Herbert. This episode of Bar Cart Bookshelf is something of an inevitability. It is a book that looms large in our science fiction canon. It is a book that I have read and loved for many years, and it is a book that is once again back in the public consciousness with the arrival of DUNE Part 2, directed by Denis Villeneuve. And so, of course, for years I've been thinking about DUNE. What is the DUNE drink going to be? What is the vibe of DUNE? Because many people have done drinks inspired by DUNE. Many people have spoken about DUNE, have thought about DUNE, have given their own contributions to the rich sort of fan community and critical consensus around DUNE. And so this episode really is a piece in a much longer story reaching back to 1965 and itself reaching back to long-standing traditions of historiography and meditations on power and ecology and religious fanaticism, filtered through that sort of limited and gonzo lens of the mid-60s. It is not a perfect work by any means, nor is the adaptation a perfect film, but they are both excellent. Let us not let perfect be the enemy of the good, because wow, what a treat. I went to see DUNE Part 2 last night. I let it wash over me. You must go see it in theaters. You should reread DUNE, revisit it. You should go and watch the movies. Just absolutely tremendous. The story of Paul Atreides, a scion of a noble house and the product of a thousands-year-long eugenicist project by spooky psychic space witches, a story about ecology in the desert, about the dangers of co-opting colonial oppression, and just really powerful, heady, wanting things, and desire for power, and the overwhelming authority of psychic visions and connection with the landscape, and the connection that the landscape has with past, present, and future. And again, all through the lens of this mid-20th century sort of mindset. Just a really powerful novel and powerful films, and I had such a good time with it. And so, of course, we had to have my little piece of DUNE history and lore added to this sort of grand tapestry of making content and making art that is inspired by this novel. So without any further ado, why don't we turn to our drink? It's a DUNE drink. Of course it has to be named Spice. Let's get going. I'm going to start with 1.5 ounces of unaged brandy. Now, unaged brandy, it's going to have that slight fruitiness that you get from an aged brandy, but still lighter and brighter. If you don't have access to an unaged brandy, then I recommend something like a very clean neutral vodka. It's not going to have quite that same undertone of fruitiness, being made as brandy is from fruit wine, but we want something that's sort of young and a little bit neutral tasting. We're going to get 1.5 ounces of that into our mixing glass. Unaged, untested, ready to begin our journey. Next, for a bit of spiced flavor, we are going to get 1/2 ounce of Velvet Falernum. Lovely. This is a classic liqueur used in a lot of tropical drinks. The flavor notes are clove, ginger, lime peel. It's going to add that sort of baking spice note while still bringing this sort of dry citrusiness. And it's going to keep our liquid in here clearer. As you can see down the line, we're going to want to play with that clarity just a bit. I'm going to get half an ounce of Sambuca or some other anise liqueur. If you go for something drier, then think about a bar spoon of simple syrup in there just to balance things out. We don't want our drink to be too punchy, since all of our ingredients are these sorts of either base spirits or alcoholic liqueurs. But that is going to bring this sort of clean, penetrating anise flavor, that licorice quality. It's going to work really well with those sort of darker spice notes that we find in the Velvet Falernum. And of course, it's a DUNE drink. It's gotta be blue. We're getting half an ounce of blue curacao in there, that rich blue color like the Fremen eyes, and bringing this sort of sweetness and orange peel to our drink. It's gotta be blue. It had to be blue. And then we're going to get 2 droppers full of acid phosphate. This is just going to bring a bit of brightness, a bit of zing. Again, we've got these 3 liqueurs in there that are sweet, and the acid phosphate is sort of the essence of sour. It's like the, what's in the bottle? It's pain. It is the concentrated essence of sour. So a little goes a long way, but that does help to bring a bit of zing to our cocktail without bringing the sort of texture that citrus juice would bring. We don't need to then shake our cocktail because we've got the acid phosphate bringing that brightness while retaining our sort of supple, stirred texture here. And we're going to set this mixing glass aside for just a moment while I take my glass and a damp paper towel and I wet the edge of the rim. Gotta give our glass a nice damp edge. You can do this with a citrus peel, but for the amount of dampness that we want on the edge of the glass, I really do like a damp paper towel. And I have here a tray of turbinado sugar. We're going to want to just twist that in there and rim the edge of our glass like the spice fields of Arrakis. We really want to get that sort of golden melange onto the edge of our glass, and you can see that there. Lovely. Now we can set our prepared cocktail glass aside, get our mixing glass back, and add ice. We always add our ice last because water is precious and we don't want to over dilute our cocktail. We just want to get a good amount of ice in there and stir for about 20 seconds or so until the water level is sort of roughly at an equilibrium with the liquid. A nice solid stir to get all of our ingredients blended together and mixed and properly diluted. Lovely. A little bit more. Perfect. Get our julep strainer and strain into our prepared glass. Perfect. And there you have it. At long last, one of our highly anticipated titles for Bar Cart Bookshelf, DUNE by Frank Herbert and the Spice. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Reread and revisit DUNE. Go to see the movie while it is in theaters. It really is such a rewarding experience. I just let it wash over me. I think I might go back and see it in the theater again just because I loved it on the big screen so much. We have got links to various forms of social media, including Twitter and Instagram, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Always happy to talk about Dune. Y'all know I love, ecology in fiction. Y'all know I love deserts in fiction. This was always coming, and I'm so glad it is here. So, until next time, cheers.